Hola, hey guys. What's up, family members? What's good? You guys are welcome to another episode. Wow, glory. So yeah, if you enjoyed the last episode about balancing, God, career, family life and all of that, please let me know in the comment section so I can know, what you guys like and how the people that we're gonna be seeing after now are gonna look like. All right, okay. So today we're gonna be talking about a very interesting topic, and I said interesting because it's a topic that I personally ran away from for a long time in my life because it just seemed like a hassle. It seemed like so much stress. It seemed like, why? Like, that was my question. Why does it have to be this way? Why does it have to be that way? Until God started teaching me personally about this particular topic. And you probably have guessed from the thumbnail and everything, the topic is prayer. All right, and I'm going to be telling you just one very important thing when it comes to prayer, and this is going to be a game changer for you, I promise. All right, it was a game changer for me when I was still a teenager. It just made it look like, oh, okay, I get it. That was basically what it did for me. That was just it. So it's very simple. A lot of times, the reason why people don't want to pray is because they feel it's very stressful. And the question is, what am I going to say when I get into the place of prayer? Like, what exactly am I supposed to go and say? And then we got to a point where we started having traditional phrases. I call them traditional phrases because they were like stuff that we didn't even understand. I had one friend, she used to say, oh God, our righteous Father, like very mindlessly. The first thing you come to say is, let's just begin to thank God. Sometimes some people now say, we give worship to God, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the ending, the first and the last. We just recite those things, not like we have actually experienced God to be Alpha and Omega, beginning and end in our lives, but just because it sounds like religious talk. It sounds like what we are supposed to say. This is a prayer meeting. You are anchoring the prayer meeting. Okay, so this is what I'm supposed to say. But that's not what prayer really is. We've heard a lot of things like prayer is talking to God. Prayer is communication with God. In fact, I heard one very nice definition of prayer in 2020. Yes, I went for a program. It said prayer is a legal manipulative force. So it's manipulative, but it's legal. That just caught my attention, and since that time I haven't forgotten it. But then today I just want to tell you a very, very simple thing when it comes to prayer. And it's a very basic secret that I think that every young person needs to have access to, right? Everybody needs to basically just put it at the back of their minds every time they're going into the place of prayer, so they don't see it like it's a chore, right? And that is, the secret to prayer is where the focus is. That's just it. The secret to prayer is where the focus is. The focus is not on you. The focus is not even on your prayers or even on what you are saying. The focus is on God. The focus is on the person answering the prayer. The Bible says, unto thee that answereth prayer shall all flesh come. Right? You are coming to somebody. The focus should not be, if you're told to come and visit a rich man, you want to discuss business, he wants to give you a grant. The focus is not on what you are saying or what you are wearing. The focus is on the man, how the man is thinking, what the man is, going to do after you have pitched your business. The focus is on the man, right? So in this case, we are focusing on the person we are going to meet. The focus is on God, right? Now, sometimes, I like to answer the question how. I personally feel is the reason why I was made, like the reason why I'm alive, right? Not even I feel, like I'm convinced that is, a major part of why I am made, right? Why I'm alive. So how do I know that my focus has shifted, or how do I shift my focus? The basic reason, and I'm going to be showing this to you in the scriptures. I'm going to be, supporting it with scriptural backing. So how do I know that my focus has shifted? Your focus has shifted when you begin to sense God's grace. And what does it mean to begin to sense God's grace? When you realize that you are not so important in this equation. When your mind begins to focus on what God can do, how God is so big compared to how small the problem is, your mind begins to kind of like tell the problem, hey, what's up? Can you see how big my God is? Like, guy, you're in for a trouble. Like, if you knew, you for not come my side. You get. So it's just like your focus is no longer on the problem. It's not even on you that is feeling the pain. Let's say you are coming for a request. This is prayer in terms of requests, in terms of petitions. Because trust me, in fact, I really believe that, and from basic teachings, from my mentor, from other amazing teachers of God, I've come to realize that petitions is, they are kind of the smallest, if not the smallest reason for prayer. You understand? But I know that petition is one of the major reasons people come to God. It's like, I need this thing, I need to go to God. Like, that's how the whole mind frame is built. We're going to be debunking that in, the future, right? Because you shouldn't be coming to God because you always want to ask for something. So what happens the day you think you are fine and the day you think that you don't need anything? So you're not going to come. That's a problem. All right? But I'm just, talking in terms of petition. We need to ensure that we are able to see God as the important factor in the equation. God is now basically who you're focusing on. You're thinking of how you can handle this. You're remembering His word. You're remembering His promises. The problem just seems so inconsequential. The problem just begins to get belittled and it just evaporates, and you just begin to sense, you get to a point where you begin to sense, like, why am I even crying on top of this thing safe? Like, is God not God? Like, that God being God having the integrity, God having the ability to sustain, His promises, to keep His promises over your life, becomes real to you. Now, when you get to that point, that is the point where you've started to sense God's grace, and that is how you will know that your focus has shifted. God becomes more real. God becomes more important than the prayer points. Now, let me read it quickly to you in Matthew chapter 6, and I'm going to be reading from verse 6. It says, "Here is what I want you to do. Find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there as simply and honestly as you can manage. The focus will shift from you to God and you will begin to sense His grace." You see what we've been talking about? That's exactly what the Bible says. And another thing, I like to call it the subordinate point, but to me this was the point that came first, is honesty in prayer. My dear family member, my dear sister, my dear brother, whatever it is you want to call me, my love, my sweetheart, please be honest in prayer. I think the day I'd heard it before from God, the Holy Spirit has told me about it, but it wasn't so serious until the day I had, such a heavy heart. And I knew that the best place to offload this worry, this problem in my heart, is by coming to God. But when I came to God, I was so tempted to start by saying, "Dear Lord, I worship you. I give you praise and glory." Because at some point, I just stopped. And I was like, no. And I said, "God, let's take that again." And I came and I said, "Dear God, I'm sad. I'm tired, I'm angry, I'm pissed, I'm mad. I don't like what happened one bit. I was so angry and I really wanted to blot. I just started talking and I felt better. Instead of coming with a script, you come and the first thing you think you are supposed to do is, "Dear Lord, our righteous Father, I give you praise, honor, glory, and adoration." Do you even know what honor, glory, and adoration means? Or you're just saying it because this is what you've heard all your life? We've heard it from the pews. We've heard it from the altars. We've heard it from, amazing people. And no shades to anybody. But right, before you say something, are you not supposed to try to understand what you're saying? it becomes a point where we come like, I'm trying to come in a certain way. I'm trying to come with a certain posture. I have to put my hands together and close my eyes. Who tell you? Who tell you say you guys put your hands together and close your eyes? Where? Why? Because of what? Macau, because of why? I'm sorry, but honestly, we just have this mind frame. I heard somebody say the reason why you put something in a frame is because you want it to be the focus. The reason why we don't hang pictures on the walls as paper, aside the fact that we want to protect them, is because we want people to focus on them. Do you understand? So we put prayer in such a frame box that it just becomes, if it is not this way, then you've not done it right too. I think my mentor was talking to me and a couple of others one day, and he said something. He said, when you come for prayer meeting, and you are probably to anchor the prayer session. Now, when you want to ask God for mercy, it has to come from a place of revelation, not a place of line up. Like the next thing now, after you worship God, you thank God, the next thing is to ask God for forgiveness. Like that's like I don't know how to put it. That's like the follow-up, point. No, even if you're going to ask God for mercy, it has to come from the place of revelation, even as you're taking that prayer, or maybe when you were preparing for it and you just want to spur the people on to ask for the mercy of God. We want to get in to the throne of grace boldly and all of that. Not like it's an obligation, like it is one of the prayers that should be said after Thanksgiving is asking for mercy. Says who? I know some people say, the Lord's Prayer, that's the format and all of that. Yes, but still the Lord's Prayer must come from a place of honesty, must come from a place of understanding. And it must come from a place of knowing that you are not just talking to a supernatural being who is a spirit, who you are so scared of that you cannot see. Yes, Jesus is Master. But guess what? He is also, God is also our Father. So what joy will it give a father when he knows that my child is coming here and she's just going to put on a facade? Like she's just going to put on a fake outfit, fake face, and just come and think that this is how I want her to come. Whereas I want her to come just the way she is. I want him to come just the way he is. I think I'll wrap this up by telling you the story of one of my favorite teachers in the world, Andrew Womack. He said when he started to learn about prayer, from his local church, his local pastor when he was young, he's decided that he wants to be a serious Christian. He wants to take prayer seriously. So he was like, I'm going to start praying by 6 a.m. every morning. I'm going to pray for at least 1 hour, or was it 30 minutes? I can't really remember. And he was just, trying to be as serious as possible, trying to be as disciplined as possible. And if you know anything about Andrew Womack, you would know that he came from the military. So, and if you're a military guy in the US, you kind of understand what discipline means. You kind of understand what showing up means. You understand what obeying the last order means. So when he realized that he has changed from being just a military guy to somebody that is under the rulership of Jesus Christ, the captain of his destiny, he decided that he wanted to follow the last order. But then he started praying, and then 6 a.m. every morning he will come, he will pray and all of that. And then one day he just got fed up and he told God, he said, God, I'm not going to lie to you, but I dread this moment. I never look forward to 6 a.m. in my life since I started these prayers. And he said he felt God tell him, you are dreading it by 6. I started dreading it by 5:30 a.m. because I know you're just going to come with this sense of obligation instead of coming to me like you're my child. Yes, you are obeying me, you fear me, you honor me, but you're also my own. Right? So when he felt that this was what God told him, he started learning more about how prayer should be honest, how prayer should not be calculated. Yes, this doesn't mean you shouldn't have a list. You can have some things you want to pray about very effectively, like you might not have the time to pray about during the day anywhere you are. You can write them down, your notes, anywhere, so that when you come to God, maybe later when you have some time, you're able to remember that you want to talk to God about it. Because one of the things that happens to me is somebody says, I'm experiencing so, and I tell them I'm going to pray for you, and at the point I can't pray, sometimes I mutter some words under my breath, but I write it down immediately so that I don't forget to pray for this person. So the point is, the secret to prayer is where your focus is. Are you focusing on the problems you're bringing? Are you focusing on you that is bringing them? How you want to enjoy life? How you want to chop the life of your head? How you want to just get this matter solved? You just want God to step in and do what you want. Is that what your focus is on? Or is your focus on the God that you're coming to meet and what He can do? He has the integrity to stand by His word, and He has the ability to fulfill His word. Sometimes some people, we are human, so we most likely have one and don't have the other. So somebody might say, I'm going to give you 100,000 naira, and they are very truthful, and they say, oh, come next week Saturday. And now you come next week Saturday, but guess what? They don't have 100k again in their house. Now they have the integrity to keep their word, but they don't have the ability at that point. Sometimes some people say, oh, come and collect 100,000 naira next week Saturday. They have the 100k, but then you get there and they are not at home. So they have the ability, but they don't have the integrity. But guess what? Guess what? Jesus has the integrity and the ability. And it's just so beautiful. And the thing is, He has both of them every single time. So I'm just encouraging you today. Anytime you're going to God, please, by the mercies of God, I beg you. I think one of my friends was sending a voice note and he was like, I beg you in the name of God. Right? So by the mercies of God, I beseech you, brethren. I beseech you, T.C.Y family. Please don't go to God expecting that this is what He wants to hear from you. Go as honestly as you can. Don't try to role play before anybody. Find a secluded place and just go and talk to your Father. And let your focus be on what He can do, what He is willing to say. The burden's on His own heart and not exactly yours. I believe this episode has blessed you. I'm going to encourage you to listen to other episodes that we talked about, other amazing stuff. I'm also going to encourage you to subscribe to the channel, alright, and turn on the notification bell, because every time we post, sometimes I may not be able to post and then come and announce somewhere, oh, that I've posted. Sometimes I just post and I just want to go, right? So turn on the notification bell, and you'll be able to get notified every time we post a video that is to the glory of God. Thank you so much for listening. It's so good to have you in the T.C.Y family. I'll see you in the very next episode. Take care of you. Bye-bye.